Today in the show, we're going to be talking about Lobo. If you didn't know that this character is just a parody, then this show is for you. So Lobo, he would first appear in the Omega Men number 3 in 1983, and he'll be one of DC's most popular characters all through the 90s. Something that a lot of people don't know about Lobo for some reason is that he was actually made to stylistically parody Wolverine and make fun of the stories that were popular at the time that he was created. Lobo is the last of the Zarnian race. Now, the Zarnians were this incredibly peaceful people, but as soon as Lobo was born, he was different. Apparently the nurse that delivered him went insane. Then when Lobo was in high school, he found out about genocide and got really excited and inspired and created a swarm of flying scorpions and killed off his entire race, and then left to go explore the galaxy and collect bounties for money. Lobo was actually about in the Citadel War. He would go up against the Omega Men to fight Callista because he had been hired to find out more about her planetary shield. But then after the Citadel War, Callista's husband would actually hire Lobo to go into the Citadel's prison, free several captured allies, and kill the Citadel's military commander. And he did so because he's in it for the money, not for the people. Then he was hired to take out the Justice League, and he was waiting for the opportune moment to do so, but before he found that moment, the contract was cancelled, meaning he had just hung around Earth for a little bit, not really doing anything, so everyone thought that he was a friend. Now Lobo kept space dolphins as pets, but one day, one of the dolphins was killed, and he would track the killer down to a team called the Legion. So he would go after them, take out the entire team, but then Vril Dox would offer him a place on the team in exchange for the dolphin's safety. So Lobo would do so. It is worth saying that while Lobo was on the team, Dox would actually poison Lobo, and over time, Lobo lost his ability to multiply from his blood. One day, Dox would hire Lobo to transport a prisoner to him alive, and Lobo thought this would just be another boring job. But it turned out this prisoner was another Zarian. This prisoner was the person that wrote the book on Lobo, revealing what he did to his entire race to the rest of the universe. This person was his 4th grade teacher, Miss Trib. Now about 5 groups along the way were encountered that either wanted Lobo dead or Miss Trib dead, and eventually one of the groups would force the two of them into a spelling bee. Yeah. Lobo then tells Dox that he's going to Revel 7, but he does so on an unsecure line, so when he gets there, a riot breaks out, and then after the riot, Lobo finally gets Miss Trib to Dox. Then pretty much as soon as Lobo delivers her, he kills her because he wants to be the last Zarian. Then the year 2000 came about, where Clarion the Witch Boy turned every hero into a child and every sidekick into an adult. But the thing is, after this was undone, Lobo was still a child. So he became Little Lobo and joined Young Justice. And here he would regain his ability to produce clones of himself from his blood, he would defeat a whole bunch of Apocalyptian soldiers, and while on Apocalypse, a whole bunch of his clones would start attacking each other until there was only one left. This surviving one would grow to adulthood and leave Young Justice. But there was also another surviving one, a very, very weak one, that went by Slobo. And by all means and practices, Slobo is a different character from Lobo. Years later, when he would encounter Robin and Wonder Girl in the Titans, it would be revealed that he has no memory of ever working with them in Young Justice. In 52, we would encounter Lobo once again. Turns out he's become an archbishop of the triple-headed fish god. He was in possession of the Emerald Eye, and one day he would encounter Starfire, Adam Strange and Animal Man just as they were about to be killed by Devil Lance, and he would save them. And then Starfire would strike a deal with Lobo, so if he helped them, they would help him. Together they defeat Lady Styx, and Lobo is able to deliver the emerald eye to the fish god. But as soon as he gets there, it's revealed that the eye is the only thing that can kill the fish god. So rather than delivering the eye to the fish god, Lobo kills the fish god. There would be this really weird storyline where Lobo was eventually sent to hell, and the demons Etrigan and Blue Devil were on a rampage, and they would accidentally free Lobo, so Lobo would start rampaging through hell, and he would kill Zatanna's father, Zatara. So a fight would break out with Zatanna and Lobo, but we never really got a solid conclusion on this fight. It was a really weird storyline. Then there would be a short adventure in Brightest Day where he went up against a couple of Lantern Corps, but again, that's not really important. Then there'll be an even shorter adventure with the Rebels, and then the New 52, meaning nothing really important after 52 happened with Lobo. In the New 52, Lobo has been totally redesigned, both in personality and in character design. And this makes sense because Lobo is supposed to parody popular stories at the time. So I think in about 10 to 20 years time, we should get another Lobo that once again is redesigned to parody popular stories of that time as well. Lobo is a very strange character for me because sometimes I really like him and other times I find him really dumb. I don't know anyone whose favorite character is Lobo. Like, I know a lot of people that really like Lobo, but I don't know anyone that would say, yeah, Lobo's my favorite character, because if they did, it would just be a bit like, what? Are you sure? I would kind of like to see the New 52's Lobo become Little Lobo, just because I want to see that version of Lobo as his Little Lobo equivalent. But I don't know if that would work in 2014 or 2015, just because the whole concept of Little Lobo was so of its time. It's super effective! Okay guys, that is it for today. If you think I forgot anything important about Lobo, please let me know in the comments down below. And also don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more history videos. And also don't forget to like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, support the show by checking out my Patreon so I can make bigger and better and more history videos. And also don't forget to subscribe to my gaming channel. My name is Faust, this has been Exploring Comics, and it is super effective.